Coming up, a Sad Styles production.
Get into it.
Mikey, let's start the episode.
Okay,
It's very formal, but let's just start the episode.
let's start. I'm ready. I have my tie on.
You have your tie. Well, you always have your tie on. Can you take your? Can you take your tie off? We need to be a little bit more casual.
What? I did not discuss this beforehand. It's what keeps my head on my shoulders.
Can you please turn off your phone?
Okay.
Also, visual jokes don't work anymore.
Toot.
Oh boy, are you okay?
Tune into YouTube.
Oh gee.
Tune into YouTube to see what it looks like when I have a stroke.
Was that like 6 times? What happened there? Toot. Oh, we got to reset him again.
I said it twice.
Do it.
And then I said,
have a paper clip.
I said it twice, and then I said, in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to give him one more to make it like it's a joke, and then I just couldn't stop doing it. I think I broke.
And welcome to the Retrograde
Podcast where we remind you what you used to love and whether or not you still should.
I'm Andrew Bascom, and with me, as always, the bad boy of podcasting, Mr. Bebop.
Mikey Aaron Wiggum.
Aaron Wiggum. Oh, that pleases me so much. That is Mikey Aaronworth, and we are back for another episode of the Retrograde Podcast, but the first episode of Simptember.
Simptember. It could only mean one thing.
And that would be?
We're simping on Simpsons,
We're
baby.
simping on Simpsons.
For 1 month only.
Yes.
And that is it.
That's it.
We don't
Done.
want to hear your nonsense about, hey, it's October, do a Treehouse of Horror. No, we can't. It's over. The door's closed.
I immediately was like,
fuck.
So the first week of October, we'll do Treehouse of Horror. And I was like, oh no, but we can't because we're only simping in September.
That's the only time we can. I honestly, I looked on Twitter and I searched hashtag Simptember.
Yeah.
And it isn't a thing yet somehow.
Wow.
So I think we may be, like Michael Jackson said, we're going to be starting something.
Oh, good person to quote.
Oh, it's a little phone. Look at that for a blooper.
Didn't I tell you too that before the
You
episode?
told me to turn my phone off.
Yeah.
But I didn't treat that as like a serious thing because my phone never goes off.
I never have said that ever to you before any podcast.
And then the phone goes
And
off.
the phone goes off. Incredible.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
amazing.
I even did a little performative thing before I started. I'm like, okay, my phone is off. And I did a little thing.
I didn't, but you know what it turns out?
Yeah, you know, I know.
I should have. It's my dad.
Great. The co-host of the sign-off.
Of the sign-off. A
the-
Framework podcast,
Framework
another
podcast.
podcast under the Sad Styles Productions Network. Now, if you're new to this podcast, first of all, welcome.
Hey.
Secondly, typically what we like to do is take a look back at the games that we used to play when we were kids. Usually it's something that had an effect on us one way or another. We rate and review the game as we remember it based on how we thought it or what we thought of it back in the day. Then we take a little bit of a break. We play the game, play some of that audio or the video if you're watching over on YouTube. Then we come back and rate and review the game as it holds up in the modern day against the likes of modern games. But before we do that,
Oh, what's that?
well, typically we like to take a little bit of time to talk some bullshit.
Oh, my goodness.
This game, this month, before we take a left turn before entering Springfield to talk about some other things, is going to be a game that kind of inspired our desire to look into the gaming side of The Simpsons.
Yes.
A game that is both near and dear to your and my heart.
Thanks for qualifying all that. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yes. I'll speak for you. You can take the rest of the podcast off if you
Honest to God, that would be amazing.
want. Okay, good. Can you call my dad? Because he seems to be wanting to get in touch with me.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll
good,
call
good.
him right now.
Virtual Springfield, a game that I absolutely adored as a kid, and I think Andrew also adored it as a kid.
Oh, I loved it.
You're back. Okay.
Sorry, I'm talking to your dad. No, I loved it. You're right in the way that, you know, Simpsons has always been a passion of ours. And to do a whole month of things that we try not to do theme months. We could do theme month every month if we really wanted to. We try to use them very, very sparingly because they're so intensive about the games that you do. And around the third or fourth week, you're like, does everyone want to hear this again?
Yes, exactly.
The Simpsons is one of these like just endless treasures where there is always something to talk about. And it's something that you and I have wanted to do for such a long time. And really it was because of Virtual Springfield, because it was this game that was unlike any other game, and it actually took you very immersively, especially in the years it came out in, into Springfield when that's all I really wanted to do.
Yeah, it was a game that I played as a kid. I 100%ed as a kid.
Yeah.
And I I didn't know a single other person in the world played it. I honestly just figured that I was the only one.
Right.
So when we got to talk, I think you mentioned like a year ago or probably more. You're like, there was a game where you like actually walked around Springfield, and I was like, oh, you mean like Simpsons Hit and Run or something like that? And you're like, no, it was like a point and click adventure, and I was like, I was hesitant to say Virtual Springfield because I was 99% sure that couldn't be the game you were referring to, and then it was.
I know we're gonna talk about it. Like
Yes.
we gotta go take a quick trip into bullshit down. But is that like this is? I even when you say 100%, I'm like, there were objectives. I'm trying to even think.
The objectives were to collect a complete set of player cards. There were like cards for every character in The Simpsons.
So every time you see somebody or you interact with them.
Yeah, sometimes you had to do certain things in order to get a person's card, like a little puzzle that wasn't even a puzzle. It was just getting them to interact or react a certain way.
Right.
And I want to get on that when we get to the really get deep in the plums of this game.
Deep in the plums.
Yeah.
It's amazing because we so often want to just not talk about the game.
100%.
This only speaks to the beginning of September and how excited we are for The Simpsons in general. That we're like, no, let's talk about it. No, let's stop talking about it. Like, no, I want to talk about it.
Well, I'd say between the two of us, you are definitely the bigger Simpsons fan.
Mm-hmm.
I love The Simpsons.
Yeah.
But you can quote every episode. Like you have a much more of an encyclopedic knowledge of The Simpsons. I just like it. Like I'm doing another watch through on Disney Plus, and it's great. But I actively try to tell myself to remember certain things because I'm like, I want to be the kind of person that can quote The Simpsons. That's such a cool trait.
We were player one and I, who both have Simpsons tattoos, by the way.
Yeah.
That only to speak of our like weird obsession. We were walking through it and we're watching, 3 episodes last night just while like cooking dinner. It's one of those things you have on that you don't have to pay attention to.
Right.
But like, and every once in a while I'm like, you know what my favorite underrated line from this episode is? And I kept naming underrated lines, like not the famous one that you'd be like, Sex Cauldron. I thought that place closed or something like that. It's like the one where like, so it's Hurricane Nettie where the hurricane blows down and Ned Flanders is home.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what line I love from this episode? It's when Mo Sizlak, when they all build his house, but it's really shitty. And Mo goes, pretty clever. And I find it so funny because it's like, the ground's a little gritty here. And he goes, we painted the dirt, we painted the dirt. And he goes, pretty clever. And I've always said that line in my head of like when I've done something really dumb, I'm like, pretty clever.
I mean,
like,
that's the best thing about The Simpsons is that there's something for everyone, even just apart from like the obvious jokes. And we're hoping to find some of that in the video games as well.
Yes.
I know there are a lot of absolutely dog shit Simpsons video games out there. And
he said his catchphrase.
Dog shit Simpsons episodes. We put it out there to the D-pads and to all of our followers at Retrograde Pod, at Retrograde Mikey, at Retrograde Andy on Twitter, to basically let us know which games you want us to do this month. Virtual Springfield was a lock for number 1.
Yes.
Simpsons Hit and Run is probably a lock for
sounds like it
for the end of the month, but we need 2 to fill in there, and we want to hear from you guys to give us some recommendations. Reach out to us, give us your reasoning for why you're recommending it. We may be reading some of those on the air as well when we do that episode. So super excited for all of that, and we also have a ton of Simpsons themed bonus episodes over on our Patreon, patreon.com/the Retrograde Podcast. We call it the Mushroom Club. You'll check the feed if you haven't seen this already. A bonus watch-along episode launched August 30th to basically let everyone know that Simptember was going to be happening.
Right.
Queue up Season 8, Episode 2. You Only Move Twice, the episode with Hank Scorpio. We had a lot of fun and a lot of positive reactions there.
So much fun. Yeah. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be playing Simpsons-themed video games. I'm so excited over at the Mushroom Club at patreon.com/Retrograde Podcast to be doing Simpsons-themed anything over there. Just the fact I get to fucking talk Simpsons all the time now. Oh, I'm ecstatic.
Fantastic.
It's great.
Fantastic.
But speaking of, let's not talk about The Simpsons.
I never want to talk about it ever again.
Well,
I just got it all out of my system.
Well, that's going to be an issue.
This is, how many more weeks do we have of this?
6 or 7.
Including today?
Well, it depends how many Treehouse of Horrors we do.
That's okay, good point. I have something I've been desperately wanting to talk about.
Please.
Partially because no one else seems to be talking about it. But over the weekend, I had so many plans. Everyone was just wanting to hang out with me so much.
Right.
But
sounds right.
Yeah, I said they were all calling me while I was recording podcasts. I'm like, Dad, chill out. But I was like,
let's go in the town.
I can't hang out with anyone. I got to go to the movies on my own. And I did.
Okay.
And I was going to see Candyman.
Oh.
But I was scared there were going to be pop-out scares, and I didn't want to be the only person.
1,000% there's going to be pop-out
so
scares.
I didn't go see that one.
I saw your tweet about that. Yes.
Yeah.
You asked the D-pads.
Yes.
Is there pop-out scares in Candyman? Should a grown adult go to the theater to see this movie or no?
And resoundingly, everyone said, yes, you should go, but refused to tell me that there were pop-out scares.
They wanted to torture you.
They wanted to torture me, which is, that is my new relationship with all the listeners out there. No, but instead I saw The Green Knight.
Oh,
The Green Knight was
such good things.
You've heard good things about it?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I don't hear anyone talking about it. Dev Patel. It's a story from Arthurian literature for Sir Gawain the Knight, the nephew of King Arthur.
Yes.
Cool thing about this movie is that they don't even mention King Arthur's name in it.
Cool.
So it is a story from Arthurian literature, but like it's not about King Arthur.
Okay.
All the characters are there if you're paying attention, at least in the beginning, but it's more or less like a road narrative story.
So what characters are we talking? We're talking Merlin?
Merlin's there.
Merlin's there.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Morgan Le Fay is there.
Oh, Morgan Le Fay.
Famous witch.
Camelot?
They are.
Yeah.
They
Is
are.
there a round table?
There is a round table.
And now I'm out.
But
and for those reasons, I'm out.
this is Dragon's Den.
This is Dragon's Den. Speaking of medieval things, yes.
Medieval.
Yeah, dragons.
Oh.
You're welcome.
I thought you were talking about Kevin O'Leary.
And speaking of a dragon, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Speaking of famous murderers, yes. Wow, what a local joke that is. And for those reasons, and now I'm officially, my quiver of references of Arthurian literature is out. And thank you very much. Mikey, please tell us about The Green Knight.
I shall indeed, Andrew. And thank you for unleashing those quivers. You fire them up into the air, and we shall speak in the shade. Because your arrows shall blot out the sun.
Oh, there we go. Yes. Quiver is where you hold the arrow.
Well, did I say shoot up the quivers?
Yes.
Well, when you run out of arrows.
Time to throw some quivers at people.
Some quivers.
I'm going to beat the shit out of you with my quiver. Which has to be the most, like, defeating thing. Like, what happened? You guys are all biting up. Like, yeah, this guy ran out of arrows.
An army of people with quivers running at us.
I forgot that he's an archer, and when he ran out of arrows, he could also just kick the shit out of me.
That sounds like what a famous divorced dad, Jeremy Renner, would do. After he runs out of arrows, he took the bow from Hawkeye. He took that, just grabbed it off the set of Marvel's Avengers, grabbed it, ran out of arrows, and just started beating people.
What is Robin Hood's guy? Scarlet, something Scarlet. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm naming other famous medieval archers, and now I didn't go to Robin Hood. I went to Robin Hood's friend. So I could have just gone with Robin Hood at whatever. Sorry, The Green Knight.
Yeah, very few archers in this movie, if any.
That's too bad.
It's a much more subtle. It's very much like a typical A24 movie because it's that's the production company, or the publishing house, whatever.
Yes.
It's very subdued, very slow, very weird, and very non-linear, like very tough to get a full sense of like what the actual plot is from start to finish. It really requires you to sort of unpack all the different stories and elements of the journey that Sir Gawain is going on, Dev Patel's character. But at the end of it, I walked out of the theater just being like, I have so many mental gymnastics I get to do when I get home to like figure this movie out in a good way.
Okay.
But when we were leaving, when the theater was letting out, everyone was just like quiet, walking out, just like, huh. And then you could hear there was like a conversation going, and someone says, I mean, I didn't hate it. It was just so weird. And everyone started laughing because you could tell everyone was thinking the same thing. Oh, good.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say something else because I actually hate those moments when people start talking when they leave the theater because you're always like, that was a really good movie. And then some guy's like, I didn't get it. That was dumb. And you're like, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
You're ruining it for all of us.
It felt like there very well would have been a lot of those people in the audience. The ending is very up in the air. It leaves a lot to be like George Clooney. It just ends and the movie up in the air begins. And Anna Kendrick is there just being as charming as ever. But I highly recommend anyone out there who is considering watching The Green Knight, definitely go watch it. It was phenomenal.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of the next time I'm going to go to the theater, even though there are some movies out that I really want to see, and Green Knight was one of them. But I think I'm going to see Shang-Chi. I think that'll be the next one out. I just, the trailer for Spider-Man came out, and then I'm like, well, I'm back on my bullshit. Here we are. Let's go again. And Shang-Chi, I'm excited for it. And Simon Liu, good Canadian boy. going to be starring in that, and with some, very necessary genre turns for the MCU. So I'm really excited about that. But I'm glad you went to the theater. Was it exhilarating?
It was great. You and I went to go see Suicide Squad not too long ago. So this was weird. I was just on my own, but the theater was as empty as always. Middle of the night on a Saturday. So it was, or like 7 p.m. on a Saturday. It should be packed. There was no one there.
And this is, once again, you went on a Saturday night alone to the movie theater because so many people invited you things. So you're like, I don't want to say no to everybody, right?
If I chose one person, everyone would be jealous.
Exactly.
Except for that one person. But then here's the thing is that one person would feel so much pressure to absorb everything that I have to offer. I'm a very moist person. So if I just drip on people then they have to absorb.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of pressure for someone. Like very much like a sponge.
Like a sponge, okay.
Yeah.
Or like the MCU's character, the Blob.
Everyone's favorite MCU character, the Blob. Yeah.
Good luck putting that in the movies. I say that, they'll figure it out. I don't know. Well, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
I think that, Suicide Squad, speaking of, we put an episode of us talking about
the bonus episode over on the Mushroom Club.
On the Mushroom Club, speaking of Patreon.
There was one more thing that I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up, Andrew. Mate, do I have your permission to speak?
Well, you're looking for it. Yes, you do. I mean, my mind is racing with 1,000 things this could be.
I was hoping.
I don't want to guess because I don't want to disappoint anybody.
No, I listen. From my perspective, my buddy is over there on the other side of the room, just clearly in pain. I would do some active listening. That's just me.
Mikey, I'm listening to you, and I'd love to hear what you have to say.
That's better.
It's perfect.
Andrew.
Yeah.
I have a pretty significant announcement to make.
Oh, please say you finished a fucking video game.
I finished a fucking video game.
Oh my God, you did. What game was it?
It was, guess.
Batman.
It was Batman Arkham Knight. I had to.
You said you had like an hour left.
So it turns out I had about 2 hours left.
Oh, okay.
Which is fine. That's fair. There's a decent amount of cutscenes and all that.
Wow.
But the one thing I keep forgetting every time I go a little bit of time without playing that game is the story in Arkham Knight is so good.
Yeah, it's great.
It's so good. Scarecrow as the ultimate villain, Joker as kind of like a sort of like an anti-hero that you're working with the whole time. And the way that do you remember much about the ending of that game?
A little bit.
So I'm gonna spoil a little bit about Arkham Knight.
I think this game's 6 years old.
It's very old. It's very old. So, scroll away if you want. I do suggest finishing it if you have any inclination to do so.
Yeah.
But there's a whole first person scene in the in the game when you are the Joker.
Yes.
And you have a shotgun.
Right.
And you're running around shooting everyone.
Yeah.
You shoot the Penguin in the head at point blank.
Right. I did forget about this.
It's fucking bonkers. And it's like, turns out it's all in his head. But that feeling of catharsis, it's a moment where Batman's supposed to be letting loose and letting his like angry Joker side shine through because that's his biggest fear. And he's being submitted to the toxins. So you're playing as the Joker, and after all this time of the punching and just hand-to-hand combat, going around and having everyone afraid of you and just shooting them in the face feels so fucking good. It was great. It was a great game. The biggest problem was, and I'm curious to see if this has ever happened to you before. Has this ever happened to you?
What's the deal with this?
The game is hard. It's a hard game.
It is a hard game.
It throws a lot at you and expects you to know a lot about the combat and the rhythm of it and to familiarize yourself with it. And then the last battle is basically just you against 50, 100 enemies constantly all the time. And I hadn't played the game in like a month.
Oh.
So at its hardest point, I had to basically relearn all the controls. And it was not easy. It was not easy.
No, I can't imagine. Oh man, I can't imagine what. Do you remember who's the guy you play in that game who's like a knight? Speaking of Arthurian legend.
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
He's got flaming sword kind of thing.
Yeah, he wears sort of like the Templar garb. I can't remember his name.
And so he's a lot like Taskmaster in the MCU, where he learns other people's moves and then uses them against them or whatever. And I found that guy impossible because you're like, hey, you're good at that. Do something else. And it's like, fuck, no, that's why I'm good at this, man. Like, I found that so hard.
He was great. I liked all the little side missions and everything.
Yeah.
Were there any games that you remember playing where you knew you had to finish, but you kind of forgot the controls and then had to go back at its hardest point? Do you have any experiences like that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Thank you. I'll take my answer off the air.
God, I think I did. Oh, he's off the air. Okay. Well, thanks, Mikey from Toronto. It's Toronto. Okay. I think I also did this with Batman. So it's kind of a boring answer. I'm just trying to think of another one, though, because the Batman. Oh, he's back.
Hey.
Hey, buddy.
Have you answered yet?
No.
I realized I couldn't hear when I stepped out of the room.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I also did that with Batman, and now I'm trying to think of another game where I did that, because you're right. It's so intricate in the way that you play these games, and it's so like timing based.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. It's like that with sports, and especially with timing based video games like baseball.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'll pick up the show and then I'll play for like 2 months very intensively, and then I'll be like, well, I'll see you in 10 months.
Right.
And a lot of it's just based on timing and reading the pitch out of the person's hand. So it's like a fastball looks like a changeup, except
Sure.
the fastball comes at 99 and a changeup comes at 89.
Right.
And so sometimes you're just like swinging and the ball hasn't even come there yet, and you're like, fuck. So a little bit of that where every time it takes me like a week.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got no hit yesterday. It's like, oh, great, awesome.
And that's why it took me so long to finally go back and play Arkham Knight. Because even when I was playing it, I got to one of the missions and I'm like, I can't figure this out right now. I got to put this down. I'm like, if you put this down, you're never going to finish this fucking game. So finally I did.
Is it my voice in your head when that comes up? Is it like you coming on this podcast and after admitting failure?
You know what the most, I think, sociopathic thing about this situation is? You would think that's the case.
Right.
But no. What's driving me is the ability to come on here and prove you wrong.
Prove me wrong. What an interesting way of putting that. Well, congratulations. I feel so embarrassed right now.
I knew you would.
So in recent months of making fun of hashtag Mikey don't finish.
Mikey doesn't finish.
Mikey doesn't finish, excuse me. Thank you very much. It's also correct grammatically too, which is good. You have beaten Death Stranding.
Uh-huh.
And you've beaten 2 games.
No, there are more. There are more.
Okay.
I finished a comic book.
So you finished 2 video games and a comic book. So what is the next game to overcome the hill that is of hashtag Mikey doesn't finish?
So I talked about Yakuza. I was playing Yakuza, and I really thought I would finish that game, but I'm not enjoying it the way that everyone else is. So it's not a matter of like, I like it, I will finish it. I think I might actually go Psychonauts 2. Because I just playing number 1, I really enjoyed it. On last week's episode, if you haven't heard it, we did Psychonauts 1.
So you bought Psychonauts 2?
It's on Game Pass for free.
God.
Game Pass, holy fuck. Like, I know every time you plant the flag and you say anything positive about one of the consoles, everyone who loves the other console just thinks you're being like a stan or something like that. Or you're simping. I don't know.
Which we are.
We are.
We are simping.
On Simpsons.
Because it's Simpsons, September.
Exactly. I logged back into Game Pass, and the library is fucking bonkers. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's such an outrageous value. Wow. Game Pass is.
That's exciting.
So it's hard, like, even to log in and be like, oh, I want to play Psychonauts. You see all these other smaller games that you completely forgot about. You're like, it'd be nice to try that one out, which is like my nightmare, because I will play all of them and finish none of them.
Yes. You'll play an hour and a half of each game.
Yeah.
And then just drop it. So what game next?
I think Psychonauts 2.
So now goes Psychonauts 2. Okay.
I think Psychonauts 2 is going to be my go-to there.
So deep ads, you heard him there at Retrograde Mikey. Remind him that he needs to finish Psychonauts 2. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Because we enjoyed Psychonauts 1 so much.
We did. We really did.
So
Andrew, I've been waiting this whole time because you mentioned before we started recording that you had a little announcement that you wanted to run by me.
Well, it's not really an announcement. It's something I definitely want to talk about.
Okay.
So Fortnite, a game that I can't believe I play, but I do.
Yeah.
And I'm so good at it. That's the problem. I'm so goddamn good at it.
That's
that
why
I'm
you
like,
don't stop playing.
It does it almost. It baffles me. But I know you at home is like, I don't believe him. Like, I get that. I really do. You're right to think that. Except I'm so good at it. They've done a lot of interesting things. You know, we bring this up all the time. It's a free game. I can't believe it's free. A lot of people do buy things with it, but that's totally fine if they want to put their own money in.
Sure.
But it's not a requirement to playing an actual game.
Right.
Still blows my mind. And they've done a really interesting job of making some interactive I don't know, interactive exhibits inside of it that, you know, like you can watch a Travis Scott concert.
Yes.
Or you can,
I remember that was really cool.
I recently, I found out there was no way of escaping it. You had to watch an Ariana Grande concert if you were playing during a certain hour period for a 3-day stretch. So only for 3 days, if you played between 7 and 8, you could like watch this Ariana Grande concert. I, for the life of me, couldn't figure out how to quit it. So I was just like, well, okay. Here's the thing. I was thinking, you watch a concert. This is so weird.
Right.
No, it's this like interactive thing where you're jumping and you're still playing a video game, except kind of it's in the world of her videos and it's all graphically very interesting. And while it might not be like for me, because I don't know how crazy I am about her music, it is like something because it's not watching a concert, which you can do anytime. It's not watching a screen, which we do televisions, movies, and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's also not a video game. It's its own thing.
Was it like the Travis Scott thing where he was this giant person walking through the map and rapping, or like what was the content? Where was she performing?
So she is like a sprite or an avatar that is happening and like kind of like hosting an event while you're going through like a dream world and you're hopping off of stars and you might be like, bouncing off of flowers or something like that. And it's like you're traveling through all these different worlds during many different songs. Now, wow.
That sounds like someone was fucking high when they designed it.
Honestly, yes.
Oh my God.
It's interesting. It's like Fantasia, but like in a video game.
I like that.
It's like things are real and you're actually interacting with the environment.
Is this so? You said that you expected me to.
This is not it.
Oh, that's not it.
This
I
is
was
the
gonna say,
warm up.
that is really cool.
This is the warm up to it.
Okay, all right.
So
Lay it
while
on me.
Fortnite keeps trying to do stuff like this, I respect that notion. It has a huge fan base. It is a huge player base of people. So it's trying to do these things that are like, it's not necessarily a video game, but you are still interacting.
Right.
Okay, interesting. So this month is this is the part that I thought you were going to react to. This month is the, I think, 58th anniversary of Martin Luther King's Million Man March on Washington. Okay. And it happened in 1963. And Time and Fortnite have created a actual walkthrough exhibition.
Okay.
Of an interactive exhibit of Dr. King and kind of race relations when it comes to voting that your player, like literally Rick Sanchez, Superman, Batman, a banana wearing a suit.
Whatever your skin is.
Whatever your skin is can walk through and solemnly respect the work of the Reverend Dr. King. Time magazine has helped put this on. Now, understandably, one thing I need to say off the top is some of the King children have said, or grandchildren, excuse me, have said that they're like, well, we are distancing ourselves from this. I need to keep in mind that they have always never really seen eye to eye. The family with the King representation, like intellectual property, has often disputed the uses of his image. Of course. So like, that's not shocking. It's also Fortnite. I can imagine one short explanation to Bernice King was like, so
he got killed by a gun.
Yes. And they're in a, it's like, yeah, that sounds like a bad idea. And within the first week, they're like, yeah, let's turn off the emotes. So you're not like,
I saw
dancing.
something about that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so while I sit here and go, well, that feels tremendously odd and sometimes a little icky. Isn't this feel like the future in a weird way that they're like, hey, we have a huge database of people that come to play this game and we have something we want to tell them. And now whether it's a concert or it's something else, it's like, this feels odd, but it also feels like, well, it's at least a step.
It feels almost inescapable.
Yes.
And you know what's funny is we had Second Life as this thing that was so big at some point and often made fun of. You almost like there was no bleeding of Second Life into popular culture where it wasn't kind of made fun of or marginalized. This is Fortnite. Athletes play Fortnite. Celebrities play Fortnite.
Yes.
Your kids play Fortnite. Your parents play Fortnite.
Your co-host plays Fortnite.
Martin Luther King plays Fortnite.
Someone does. Yeah, someone
does.
Yeah.
So it feels like, when you have so many people in one place, especially in this virtual world, you could kind of like, it's like Second Life is coming back in the popular presence of mind. Like it's not anymore this marginalized thing. And it's not something that is only a shooting video game, and it's not something that's only a chat room. They find a way to blur the lines and be a little bit of everything, which is it's fascinating to see how that's going to go. I think that's curious.
It is curious. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Where it's one of those ones where I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this, but if I look at it as just a general topic of like, man, if someone actually learned something from this,
amazing.
This is actually really cool. And it's not about that specific topic, even though it's a very warranted topic, considering how short it's been since, everyone has gotten the full ability to vote. But it's one of those ones where it's like, man, this just feels, you're right, inescapable that video games are going to have the opportunity to do more than just simply logging on to play a game. What they do with that opportunity is going to be very interesting.
I think that the thing that we're going to struggle with is like, what's going to have to happen is the overall maturing of the player base of video games.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to be imbuing this type of meaningful thing into their game, the first thing I'm thinking is you have a bunch of people who still think it's funny to be racist because you're not supposed to be racist.
Yes.
That's not the majority of player in Fortnite or in Overwatch or any of these online games, but definitely a vocal minority.
Yeah.
And I don't know how.
No, majority in Call of Duty.
Yeah, definitely Call of Duty.
It's a requirement to play in the game, actually.
I think you have to like pass the voice test first.
So when you do the sliding of brightness in the beginning,
Yes.
it's also your sliding of racism. So how comfortable with you are you with this word? 9, 10, 10, 10.
So we'll see. You'll never be able to convince me that it's not a good idea that kids learn about Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Right? But the problem is in what
Yes.
context? Because if their first experience with that sort of meaningful moment is a bunch of people doing
Shitting on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I agree with you. You're right. I love huge, large scale art exhibits. And as more people are now not being outside and maybe being online, I love the idea that that's the way we are going to find commonality among each other in a community. I just wonder how that's going to be interpreted because, it wasn't 10 years ago when people put U2 onto my phone and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with everybody? I can't get this off. And then, 2 months ago, I'm like, I'm watching Ariana Grande and I'm trying to find a way to escape.
Yes.
I hope people then go to the Dr. King exhibit and going, how do I leave this? How do I get out of here? I hope that we can treat things the way they are, but who knows? It's one step. You know?
Yeah. I do though. I think it's an important thing to talk about, the idea that games are now no longer just the shooting or just the walking or just this and just that. And today's game that we're talking about was often criticized for not being a quote-unquote game.
Okay.
Virtual Springfield was like a walking simulator before walking simulators existed, so much so that it was so different that the critics often said, this isn't really a game. They're like, I love the fact that I can tour Springfield. That's fantastic. And it's really funny. But this isn't a game, therefore it's not getting a good review. Which, if you tell that to me now, you're like, hey, a game's coming out, you get to tour around Springfield, all the voice actors are there, we've recreated the whole town, you get to go like walk around it in a way you never have before.
Yeah.
I don't care that I'm not shooting anyone.
No.
That is what games are now. And I wonder if this game came out in that context, if it would have been a lot better received than what we ultimately had from our critics.
It's funny because we're starting with this one in September, our Simpsons theme month.
Simptember, yeah.
September, where we're simping for the Simpsons. This was, in our mind, such an important game for us as kids. It's like, I can't begin to tell you, and I'll tell you in my review, how much this is burned into my brain.
Yes.
Little moments where you're right. Like, I thought it was like a fever dream. But it actually expresses the idea of like, why isn't The Simpsons had just like a stone cold banger of a video game where you go like, and we already did the arcade game, and I know a lot of people will point towards that, but even then it's like, why wasn't there like, oh, well, obviously.
I think when we get into Simpsons Hit and Run, you're going to see the game that was quote unquote a Grand Theft Auto clone, quote unquote a Crazy Taxi clone. But
I love those two things.
Love those two things.
Love those.
With The Simpsons and the voice actors, a lot of the same voice, a lot of the voice actors, and quality of life changes to those formulas that made the games more easily enjoyable and playable.
Right.
Like, that is a phenomenal game. Yeah. And I think one of the reasons it's not as popular is because it got, I'm pretty sure there was a giant lawsuit from the team at Crazy Taxi over this game, because if you recall when we did Crazy Taxi back in the day, they patented the idea of a video game where you go in a cab and pick someone up and then move them to their location and this and that. And then Simpsons Hit and Run comes out and uses that formula, and they got sued. So does The Simpsons have a banger of a video game? I think they have the best we're going to get.
Yeah,
in a few different forms, in Virtual Springfield, in the arcade game, and in Simpsons Hit and Run, because most properties, media properties that are movies and TV shows and that, also don't have bangers of video games. The Frasier video game is just deplorable.
How dare you? It's really good. It wins so many awards, therefore justifies its excellence. We're starting with this one because it means a lot to us. Yeah. And God, I desperately hope it lives up to that. But wasn't it just exciting to live in the world of that place that you liked?
So if you think about like, that giant question that we could spend all day talking about. What is a video game? Because I wasn't concerned about that as a kid.
We just started it like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Because I wasn't concerned about that as a kid, when I booted up Virtual Springfield, this was everything I could have ever dreamed for.
Absolutely.
Because it didn't have the structure of saying like, you got to figure this puzzle out, or you have to jump over this thing, or you have to restart. It's like, I got in there, and it's like my tour guide forgot about me, and I got to explore the museum on my own.
Right.
I was like, I can go here.
Yeah.
I can go in the Simpsons house.
Yeah.
I can go there. And that to me was liberating. It wasn't a lack of direction that I found ungame-like.
Yes.
To me, it was intuitive and advanced for its time.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a sandbox game, or like a boxless game like this was still very novel in 1997.
Oh my God,
that you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not just running in a line. Like, that's pretty incredible.
I think that's honestly why a lot of review organizations or critics refuse to give it a higher score, is because they're like, well, games, you need something. You need challenge. You need this. You need that.
Well, a video game is like, yes, you could look at it as an objective-based thing where I'm trying to win or I'm trying to complete something.
Right.
Or you could see a video game also as I want to go to another world and exist inside of it as an avatar of different than I am.
Right.
And really, at the end of the day, that's what this is.
Yeah.
You know? So it really depends, because modern-day video games have weirdly come back around to see this as a video game.
Exactly.
But there was like a 20-year period where you're like, nah, it's not a video game.
Yeah, like imagine if Gone Home came out in 1997.
Right.
They'd be like,
What
this
do you
isn't
do?
a game. This isn't a game.
Yeah.
And plus, we don't talk about homosexuality.
Yes, exactly. How dare you? This is Bill Clinton's America. Like Firewatch, like you didn't even meet anybody else. Like you don't even see, like, why would I do this?
Yes. I have a question for you, Andrew.
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
I wonder if we have the same answer to this question. How did you come across this game? How did you get it as a kid?
That's a really good question. Was it in a cereal box?
No.
Because by the way, that was my guess of what I think it would be today.
Oh, really?
Sorry, that's why I was like, because it's just so like, here it is.
Could
you know what I
be.
mean? Like, also, kids don't eat cereal anymore. It's terrible for you. We've learned. Also, with their oat milk, probably.
Ugh, almond milk.
God.
I actually had a bowl of Vector this morning.
Congratulations. It's great. Is that a good cereal?
It's not bad.
Is it good for you?
Yeah, it's like high in protein. It's the athlete's cereal.
I don't think athletes eat your cereal, Mikey. I think it's just if you're Tom Brady, it's just a whole avocado, and then you eat 16 more of them in a day, and that's it. Okay. No, I don't actually know how I got this.
Maybe this will jog your memory.
Maybe it will.
Maybe this will jog your memory.
Oh,
I got
God.
a knife for the person.
Jesus Christ.
A knife in my hands. Scholastic Book Fair.
Oh, that was probably it.
I got this. Is Scholastic a North American thing, or is that
I don't know. Is a book fair like
basically book fair at our kids at our schools
At our kids.
I brought home
Were you always this age?
I hope I don't leave it.
You Benjamin Buttoning on us?
I'm going to Never Neverland. I would be the Captain Hook trying to get into Never Neverland while being chased by an alligator, because that happens in my day-to-day life.
Hey, you already have a mustache.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hook.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
You like that?
I'm going to do that more often.
Yeah. I want to play the Hook video game, by the way.
We should.
Yeah, Hook, one of those ones that absolutely is the age divide among movie goers in the way that, like, you and I, like, what do you think of Hook? Well, it's a Stone Cold
One of the
classic.
best movies of all
And then
time.
our parents are like, it's not great. Steven Spielberg, Julia Roberts, Dustin Hoffman, Robin Williams are like, this should be amazing. And everyone's like, whoa. And yet kids loved it.
I don't believe my parents if they say it's bad. They're wrong. But basically,
Call 'em back.
So the Scholastic Book Fair would happen. You'd get like this pamphlet where it showed all the book releases that you could get, and on the back page, sometimes they'd have some little knickknacks, some toys, little things. And one day I flipped to the back page, and it had Virtual Springfield, and there was no fucking way my mom was going to let me get that because it's not a book, right? It's a video game. And
little did she know.
I just I was so embarrassed and scared to even ask.
Also, your mom's a video game critic, so she's like, that is not a video game.
Yeah, she wrote for Kotaku at the time.
Kotaku print.
Yeah, exactly. And no, I ended up asking her, and she said yes. And it was this weird moment of like, Mom, you've never understood me as well as you understand me right now. And I got it and brought it home, and I couldn't believe it was in my hand. I remember the box was almost 3D.
Yes.
Where it was like
there was a clear clouds.
Yes.
And then the blue was in the background.
It was like, or the city was in the background,
Yes,
but it was like
that was
curved, so you could almost like see in it 3D, and all the characters from were like looking into it on that clear little transparent thing. Yeah, man, I played the shit out of this game. I laughed my ass off playing it. I got to know the characters and the city, which this is impressive.
Okay.
The city had never been put together.
Yes, never been mapped out.
Never been mapped out until this game.
Right.
So
and it's a constant joke inside of The Simpsons that
Right.
things are moving all the time.
Yes, exactly.
Where Springfield is always like, I think it's in the movie, but Simpsons, where Springfield is beside Ohio, Florida, Nevada, and Washington State or something like that.
Yes.
So things always move. And so I was always fascinated to try and learn the actual map of the. I was this kid though, like if you went to Disney World, which I think we went once, I was like over the map of the park. Going
yeah.
Here we go. Like I'm fucking Tom Cruise in the Minority Report. Like, yes, we need to go here, and then we're gonna.
This
go
explains your love of like Civilization and Age of Empires and those things.
I'm a cartographer at heart, man.
There's this article from PC Gamer. And it's basically the oral history of the creation of this game.
Oh, sexy.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's if you've ever had an interest in this game or even just The Simpsons, like the way they had to watch every episode of The Simpsons and refer to like they were walking right to left on screen. Yeah, not had to. They got to.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh no.
But not for the reasons you think, right?
Okay.
It's like, okay, Moe's Tavern's here. They walked left off screen, and now this was here. So they had this they had it drawn out like a map on their floor with different pieces of paper, and they'd be moving things around to see where everything would go. Matt Groening
Yep.
Was like an advisor on it.
Wow.
So every time they'd put something, because he ultimately had to sign off on it. And this is I think my favorite bit of information. Everyone knows. What's the most famous thing about Nevada?
Las Vegas.
No.
Henderson. What? Famous thing about Nevada?
Yeah.
The dam.
Nope.
Okay. How am I not getting it yet?
That's a great question, Andrew.
With Grand Canyon?
No.
That's in Arizona.
That's not even up there.
What's the most famous thing about Nevada, Mikey?
The Grand Canyon's in Nevada.
What's in half in Nevada?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that they have the replica of the Simpsons house.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yes. Yes, they do. Yes.
And that's the most famous thing about the whole state.
I like the floor plan that they chose for that house because there are multiple floor plans of the Simpsons house. You had to choose the right one. Like in one episode, like just to bring it back, in one episode, for the Stonecutters episode, the power plant is right behind the Simpsons house.
Right.
Because he takes like a hour commute, but then he says hi to them through a fence.
Yeah.
Which
is great. I love that kind of like
that's a great
hand waviness.
But you don't get to do that when you have to map out the fucking place,
That's
right?
fair. That's fair. So I think there's purposeful reasons why you don't want to do that in the cartoon, but it is cool to have a version of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Sorry, why did you bring up the house? I cut you off.
Because this was the house was done in tandem with this video game as a promotional tactic.
It was
for this game.
Whoa!
It was for this game that they made that house, which is baffling to me because the amount of love, care, and attention that the Simpsons organization, group, conglomerate, whatever it is, everyone that's involved in it, put into this game is staggering.
That's
for something that I ended up getting in a Scholastic book fair that I thought the rest of the world just forgot about.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see how much attention was actually given to it.
Yeah, I like the when they add reality to these games, I really love, and that's why I love the Frank Grimes episode.
Yes.
Where he's like, he comes over and he's looking at the house and he's like, this is your house, and he's talking about the fact I went to space and I have Grammys and all this kind of stuff, and he's like, you have a 4-bedroom house, 2 cars, 2 floors. What the hell is going on? And you're like, it only speaks to the losing reality of television of going like, how do the friends live in that apartment?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
What do they do? They spend all time talking to Joey.
Yeah. That apartment is $30,000 a month. It's gigantic. In Manhattan?
Yeah.
Are you out of your mind?
The one comparison that I wanted to draw, just to
Who's speaking of drawing?
To draw, just like The Simpsons.
Yeah,
Call me a regular old Matt Groening.
You've also been to Jeffrey Epstein's island?
Ooh, not yet.
Oh God. Oh God.
No, there's another famous cartoon that for the first time ever, the city was mapped all in one place in a video game. Do you know what game that was?
Whoa, no, I'm fat. Was it before this?
No, after this. Well, after this.
I was South Park?
Yes.
Okay.
South Park Stick of Truth was the first time that whole city of South Park.
Yes.
I was almost going to ask, what's the city called?
It's in Colorado, by the way.
Yeah, I do know that.
Yeah, thanks.
Was all mapped up.
Okay.
And so it's kind of cool where it's like you now have no excuse. You know, in a movie you can do the same thing. In a book you don't need to map it out. So in a video game you do need to actively travel from one place to another. So
you tell J.R.R. Tolkien that. He made maps everywhere.
He would love
Fucking
it.
guy.
He'd be like,
it's a regular old Magellan.
is Frodo coming?
Yeah.
That's what he sounds like.
One page is, do you want to see how Frodo went? And then the next page is, I don't care. And then the third page is a map. And you're like, God damn it. More maps.
What was the book that he released that was basically just like the encyclopedia for Middle Earth?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it was like also how to learn Elvish.
Yes.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, wow.
My buddy read that whole thing. And I was like, I would love to be that interested in anything.
I totally agree with you where I sit there and go, who wants that? And then I go like, millions and millions of people want that.
100%.
Andrew, shut the hell
Cooler
up.
people than me. So I mentioned 1997. It was published by Digital Evolution, developed by Digital Evolution, published by Fox Interactive. There isn't too much more to say about it apart from our experiences. Now, you have played it, though,
Oh,
right?
boy, have I.
And I think that since, it's been actually a while that since we've actually been able to do this, but are you ready to get into your review based on what you think about this game? Had you back when you were playing it as a kid?
Mikey, nothing would make me happier.
Wait, we played a lot of games where we didn't actually have
I know,
the
it's been a
experience of
while.
playing it.
It's been a
So
while.
this is exciting. I haven't done this in a while, but for those of you who are new or may have just forgotten, Andrew and I each give these games 2 specific rankings. The first ranking out of 4 bits is our review based on what this game meant to us growing up, as though we're reviewing it back when it first came out. Then we take a bit of a break to revisit the game and give it its second ranking, also out of 4 bits, which represents how the game holds up in the modern day. That said, every game will receive an ultimate score out of a possible 16 bits, with 8 of those bits coming from Andrew, 4 for the retro score, 4 for the current score, and 8 for myself. Same breakdown. So Andrew, would you do me a favor?
Yeah.
And break down your score?
Is that Nixon? Is that Reagan?
Gorbachev.
Oh, so Reagan. Yeah. Okay.
Sounded like it's if Nixon asked Gorbachev to tear
Mr.
down that wall.
Gorbachev, tear down this wall?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's
Mr.
very good.
Gorbachev, we are both not crooks.
Win-win for the Gipper. I love jelly beans. All right.
I love Jelly Boys.
Yeah. Oh, man. What a game. That's up there with the end of year Hall of Fame, though, or whatever we talked about. That game was so good. Okay. This game did something that burrowed into my brain and has never left. And while I don't remember some specifics, like we kind of talked about earlier, I'm like, there were objectives. I could definitely tell you what it's like to go through the Quickie Mart.
Yes.
I could tell you how many times I've gone through it. I loved
How many
it.
times?
A bunch.
Well, you said you could tell us, so I just wanted
And
to
I
make sure.
did.
Asked
A
and
bunch.
answered. Asked and answered.
Asked and answered. Super question. Brilliant answer. So it's one of those ones where it kind of goes past video games as a whole. And I know this is like a whole argument about the concept of video games, but it kind of leaves that thing and just becomes a thing that left an impression on me.
Yes.
I so desperately love The Simpsons that I thought I could go into Springfield and then I would just live there.
Yeah.
And I would hear their jokes all the time, even when they're not like on television or something like that, right? And it gave me that impression. This gave you I never played Second Life. This was my Second Life.
Sure.
You could go in there and live that world that you loved so much.
Without other real human beings.
And some weird sex stuff. Wasn't it about sex? I don't know. Was it about sex?
All the best parts were, yeah.
Oh, okay. I go to my local sexpert, Mikey Aaronworth. So there's something ironic about that too. Yep, take you down. So I love this game. I so desperately love this game. I'm absolutely giving this a 4 out of 4.
Amazing.
This was a unique experience that has left a deep impression on me. I can't give it anything else.
I love that, and I agree with you, man. Like the idea of being able to go live in this world at a time when video games really struggled to make you feel like you were in a world. I mean, like those whole lived-in areas were less explored than I think we have today, where you have these giant worlds and everything's gorgeous. You really had to use your imagination. But I was also of the age where my imagination was still working.
Yes.
And I could pretend like I was in this world. It felt like my memories of this game are not me looking at a screen watching things happen.
Right.
It's me standing in Springfield watching these things
Yes.
happen. And that's an experience that I just don't get anymore. I loved everything about this game. Like I said, I 100%ed it. But at the same time, the thing I love most about it is it was kind of like, come with me on this one.
I'm
It's
right there
kind
with
of
you.
like my
I'm your Milhouse to your Bart Simpson right now.
Your mom's hot.
Yeah. Hey, boy.
It's kind of like my Jumanji, where I stumbled upon this thing in in a place where I never thought I'd find it. It was in a Scholastic book thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll get it. I'm excited for it. There's no way this is going to be good.
Yeah.
And then I got it. No one knew what it was. I played it alone on my computer and started to just, all of a sudden this world opened up to me and I was sucked into it. And it was like, it was like it was there for me. And in the same way where Jumanji is like this kind of like secret game that people stumble upon and now they're brought into it, whether they like it or not. It felt like a secret. And to this day, it still felt like a very personal experience. I'm giving it a 4 out of 4 as well. And I would honestly go higher than that.
Yes.
If I could. Here's what I'll say to you critics of the day who reviewed it. I forgive you because you knew not what you were doing. It's with
Jesus Christ?
Huh?
Are you stealing from Jesus Christ?
Yeah, all he's gonna do is turn his other cheek.
Yeah.
I'll steal another kiss from that cheek.
Sweet cheeks.
Because like I get it, if you're a games critic and you want your medium to be separate from everything else.
Right.
You want to be
protective
and certain of what your definition of a game is. So you're unwilling to let other things in it. Nowadays, I think for the exact reason that some critics were unwilling to give this game its due, this is exactly why I think this game is great, because it doesn't expect much from you. It just allows you to live at your own pace, which is great.
I didn't think you were going to give 4. And like even parts of me that like are cynical was like 3.5. And I was like I'm like, no, you loved this game.
Yeah.
This is the first game of Simptember for a reason.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's also like you rate the game based on what it's trying to be. To me, that's a big element of reviewing a game.
Yeah.
It's like, what is it setting out to do? And it nails that. You know, it's not trying to be a AAA blockbuster title with crazy combat. They could have tried to shoehorn combat in if they wanted to just be like a traditional video game, and their restraint in not doing so ultimately, I think, helped it out.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. You know, we are setting it up for a steep fall, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Oh, we're falling right off that. We're into the gorge. We're on
Springfield Gorge?
Springfield Gorge.
Yeah.
I did the reference.
You did it. You got it. Look at you.
Look at me. September. I'm here for you. And this is when you and I both considered, do we go into a Succession joke?
I know. And I was kind of like, I'm so excited for October. I know. Succession. Well, that'll be October, obviously.
That will be. Before October, we've got...
Socktober.
Before October, careful. I'm sure we can figure that out. Before October, we've got another pit stop to make. A few pit stops to make before October, but the first one is going to be stopping to play this game.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So we will see you guys on the other side. Again, hey, join us on YouTube. You can actually see us playing the game and hear us playing the game, and maybe we'll see you there, maybe we won't. But either way, we will see you on the other side.
Hey.
Bing, bing.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Oh, we should have started with that. Oh, put on the little VR goggles, baby.
Oh, my God.
There's the original song.
Here you go.
Wow.
This is incredible.
You know what? It doesn't look as bad. This actually looks
Holy
pretty
shit.
Good. It doesn't look as terrible as I definitely expect. It almost looks like it has a cell shading feel.
Welcome to Springfield.
Oh, I miss Phil Hartman.
You may remember me as town spokesman for such computer travel guides as Hats Off to Fargo and Pinch Me, I'm in Boise. Of course, we all know Springfield for its award-winning dandelions and as birthplace of the glove compartment. But that's merely scratching the surface of a place the great Calvin Coolidge.
It's
once
amazing
labeled
that they
a
have like
pea-sized
legit
town
writers
with
writing
lima
dialogue
bean-sized
for this. I
know.
love that.
And it shows, other than this, this aspect ratio of Jebediah Springfield looks weird.
Yeah, it definitely does. It's it looks like it's drawn by Bob's Burgers.
Yes, it does. Okay,
All right.
Mikey, where do you want to go first?
You know, sometimes when you have an infinite...
The
Oh,
fuck?
Troy's back. Get out of here.
Yeah, we gotta go quick.
There's Smithers.
Oh, wonderful.
You know what? Our mission number 1, find the fucking Quickie Mart.
Oh, I love this idea.
We got to make some slushies.
Squishies.
Squishies.
I was like, wait a second, that's all right.
We got to make some squishies, and we can play the video games that were in there as well.
I remember that. You know what's funny? It's just like, what's really impressive for all these artists, they had to create all these fake buildings that just you've never seen before.
Yes, yeah.
And I find that so impressive.
So I got the map up, and I'm looking. There's the stonecutters.
Nice.
They've got little stars that represent everything.
Moe's
Tavern,
Tavern.
Noiseland Arcade, and the Quickie Mart. I think we got to go in that direction.
Yes.
We got to go north.
Well, let's go to Quickie Mart and then we'll end up at Moe's Tavern.
Yes.
A very similar trajectory of Mikey's and I's life. Let's start off and play some video games and then let's go get drunk at a bar.
I remember this being an issue trying to find out how to turn around properly. These games always remind me too of the Magic School Bus games. Do you ever play those?
Oh, yeah.
Very similar to those. I got to go back the other way, I think.
Okay.
But it's really hard to turn around. You know what I mean? Like to actually get.
There's a Krusty Burger behind you.
All right, you wanna stop?
Okay,
in there?
let's go get a
No,
Krusty.
see, again, can't go back.
Oh, yeah, right.
Krusty Lou Studios.
Right, yes.
There's a good one. Krusty Lou. We've got Retirement Castle, and right next to the cemetery. That's always a good joke. The church.
Wow, the church is on the other side of the bridge. Also, bridges, not a part I definitely remember.
Yeah, I wonder what that's about.
Oh, I'm late for Mother's birthday party.
Principal Skinner, late for Mother's birthday party.
Of course,
It's-
as we all are.
It feels like there are some times when you just can't turn where you want to turn. I don't know. Now, keep in mind, we're playing this on a archive.org, the archive of the internet, has this game available for download. I cannot speak to the legality of it, but it's available there. I usually trust what's on there, and it hasn't been taken down for copyrights because I
Right.
don't think anyone owns the rights to it.
Right. So the cone that is Marge comes up a
Marge's
couple of
cone.
times. That's good.
The music playing in the background is a nice touch as
It's
well.
so nice. I was just thinking that. I'm like, man, this is cool.
Okay, so we got Moe's Tavern and the library. We'll take a right to Moe's Tavern. Let's stop off at Moe's Tavern.
There we go. Here we go.
There we go.
Yeah, we're at Moe's.
Look at all the familiars
Yeah.
here.
Pickled eggs.
What are you looking at?
You can touch the pickled eggs. There's like a little worm in there.
Ugh.
There's a menu.
Oh, from Uncle Moe's Family Feed
bag.
Oh my God.
Teasers. Do they have the birthday thing?
Yeah, the birthday $1 million
$1 million birthday fries.
Yeah.
Just kidding, folks. They're only $5. Ooh, there you go.
Okay.
The sober stick.
Sober stick.
Little black book, large blue edition. It's a great one.
Oh,
you
your
can make
Flaming
the
Moe.
Flaming Homer. I remember this. I think that's a way you get a.
This is so exciting.
Oh, you got-
a key. Spanky.
Took
Spanky
it.
was the elephant.
The elephant, yeah.
Oh, and
So
then
maybe-
from Moe from when there's the pictures of when he was a corner man, when he was a boxer.
It just feels like it's so much about like paying homage to jokes from The Simpsons. It's like it is just like The Simpsons fans' wet dream.
Yeah, seriously. Wonder why we liked it so much, right?
Exactly. Okay, so the cough syrup. I feel like we need that for the Flaming Homers, right?
Yeah, 100%. So we're gonna pour a little bit of everything in there.
Creme de menthe. Oh, there's the cough syrup
Cough
there.
syrup's in there. Okay.
Now we go. Oh, and a lighter.
Perfect. And we're gonna light up a Flaming Moe.
I've always wanted to try the Flaming Moe. They look delicious.
There are so many people that have tried to say what it like versions of it online and stuff.
Really?
I just
We made it.
now what do we do?
We can't drink it. That's against the law. Look how angry Moe looks.
It's like original Moe.
Yeah.
And then Barfly, who I have a statue of at home.
He's the guy who's just always drinking at the bar.
Yeah. Barfly number 1, Barfly number 2.
He throws a dart, barely hits the roof.
Oh, the love tester's in the back there too.
Here we go.
The love matic grandpa.
When I was a kid playing this game,
You wanted to get hot tamale?
I got aroused playing this.
I'm sorry.
Just just not the game, just the love tester. Just envisioning like, what if I'm a hunk of burning love? What if I'm a hot tamale?
You turned yourself on?
Thinking, what if, baby? I could get anyone. I could get Millhouse's mom if I wanted.
Hot tamale. Casanova.
I'll take
That's pretty
that.
good. Oh, I'm very good at that.
I'm all
yeah.
about being a Casanova.
This is more than I thought you could do in this place, to be honest. Okay.
Okay,
You want to head out?
Let's go to the Quickie Mart.
Whoa.
Bart Simpson skateboards by us. Auto goes by us. All right, before I move, let me check the map.
Oh.
Don't want to set ourselves on a path of failure.
So we're on the south side.
Simpson's house.
Oh, so we got to go there.
Flanders house.
So we got to go left here.
Yeah. Punk wash. Oh, there's the Quickie Mart. We got it. Selma's here, though.
Oh.
Oh, look, it's the idiot parade.
Idiot parade.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, Patty and Selma.
Fuck you.
They've always been so entitled. I've always hated them.
Yeah, I hate them. I think you're supposed to, though.
And I love them. Don't tell me what to do.
That's from Hurricane Nutty. I brought it up during today. The Hurricane Cat Show. They started branding everything Hurricane to sell them for more.
Fatty Arbuckle's dried pig joints, buffalo chips.
Jesus Christ. Tub. Tub is one of my favorite things where it's just the filling of the Oreo. And now people are starting to sell that. It's like the number of things they predicted.
That's
right?
amazing.
Tub.
Oh, Homer Simpson's in here. As opposed to Homer the poet.
Or the Odyssey.
So Homer just grabbing a bunch of stuff. Let's see what he has to say. Goes into the Jerky King. This is a little finger cut.
You little curse you, jerky god!
Curse you, Jerky Gods.
Oh,
Okay,
here we go.
here we go. The squishies. Recommended dosage, unhealthy dosage.
Okay. That's good squishy.
It's good squishy. I thought you could mix them. I thought I remember you being able to mix them.
Oh, God.
Little animal in there. Basically, you just click on one of the levers, and
Yeah.
and then it gives you a little
squishy.
animation. I definitely thought that you could mix them, or there was more to do with this machine. I bet you so much of this, though, is just our imagination telling us that there was more to do.
Absolutely.
Please keep your hands where I can see them, or I shall dance upon your bullet-riddled carcass.
Oh,
I
here's the
remember
Doom-
this.
The Doom game.
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus, yeah. So we've got
Okay,
the
yes.
bullies in The Simpsons coming at us, and we're waving a broom at them.
Yeah.
It says a poom because it's like Doom,
Yes.
but like they're exploding.
And also the animation is so different. It's closer to Doom. Like
Yeah, it's like first person.
it's really cool. And her ammo.
Oh, but you can change your gun.
Oh, there we go. Oh, you
now
can
we
just
got the
straight
Doom-
up shoot them.
Oh,
my
my
God.
god! I just shot Nelson with
Holy
a shotgun.
shit. Oh my God.
Holy shit! Now there's like a big giant gun. Oh,
Oh
my
wow.
god!
Well, that was something.
That was something. We just broke the level.
Okay.
What a weird little interaction.
Okay. Sea captains. Fish that goes crunch.
Oh. I got a card.
Oh, nice. A Nelson Muntz. So this is its way of encouraging you to please click on stuff.
Click on everything. So I basically just clicked on the sea captain. Out of his pipe, a card popped out.
There you go. Just like that. So you want to go to the arcade?
The arcade or Simpsons house?
Well, we go
oh
Sim-
yeah, actually the arcade should be good.
Right
Where-
there. Oh, it's right there on your right. It's on your right.
There you go.
Okay.
So I understand the criticisms of how hard it is to navigate this.
Oh,
map,
yeah.
though.
Yeah.
We got Slugfest.
You want to do Slugfest? Okay.
Let's
so
do
this
it.
is
So
a little bit of like,
WASD, almost like Punch Out.
yeah,
I feel like I've seen this game in The Simpsons.
it is in
though,
The
right?
Simpsons. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh, is that me?
I don't even know which one you are. You're the Bart Simpson looking one.
Yeah, the Bart Simpson looking one. Basically just a boxing game. Knocked him right down. In typical Simpsons style video game graphics.
Yeah. Do you like that on the control there, it has the letters?
Oh,
Like-
like to tell you what
to
you need
tell
to
you
press.
what to
yeah,
do?
it's showing like the gamepad on the on the screen what you can press.
It's organic that it's telling you, like, it doesn't give you instructions on every time.
Yeah.
You know, like we played recently, like Mario vs. Sonic, and it's like telling you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I like that it's, you know. Okay, you
Wow.
want to try another one?
Yeah, I don't want to play that game again. That I remember playing that game a lot.
Oh, wow.
And that was not good. Larry the Looter was the other game I remember playing. Here.
Okay. This also was in the Simpsons TV show.
Yeah.
I also like that it's its own interpretation of what they think video games are like.
Yes,
They're
exactly.
like, oh, they're so bad for you, and you know, all you're doing is stealing stuff, and
and then you immediately just get shot, game over. So it isn't even a game. Like
No.
it's not, it's
it's the same as everything else, right?
And I remember hearing stories of people who played this game forever. There were rumors that there was a way to win.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't steal anything this time. So you now
I'm being a
face
good
another
boy. I'm being a
electronics
good
store?
boy.
You're being a good boy. You're Larry the Saint.
Larry the Saint, electronics store.
Here's electronics store. Let's do it.
There we go. Now it's running time. You immediately just get shot. It's.
Oh, it's so silly.
I think that's almost like a commentary also on video games because the arcades just, as we always say, will not let you get past a certain point.
No.
Krusty's Carnival Cash.
Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, see, okay, now
Oh, this
this
is
feels
cool.
like an actual game.
So basically, you put a little 10-cent coin on a ramp.
Yeah.
Press it and try to get it into his mouth.
Oh,
I got it.
you got it.
Scores 1. Got it 2. I think I got the hang of this.
Yeah, you're kind of crushing it. Nice.
I lost.
Fuck you, Krusty. Also, thank God they made Carnival with the C. They made Cash with a
Krusty's
K.
Carnival of K. Yeah. I feel like there's no winning. Which is probably also a commentary.
Yes, I bet
You're
you
always
that-
going to lose.
Yeah,
You only have 3 shots and you need 4 to win. That's, yeah.
I don't like those bullies.
Yeah, the bullies are just kind of sitting out there watching me. Oh, one of them's coming in. They're mad because I killed them all with a broom.
Yeah, that they remember that.
Oh, they just stole all of, what's his name?
Frink.
Frank, all Frank's coins.
I thought I did.
We got to go check the Simpsons house.
Yes, of
I
course.
think that's very important for us.
You should be right
There
here.
it is.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Yay.
The famous home. Looks great. Homer in shorts.
Hartman shorts, weird.
Mowing the lawn. Ned Flanders comes by.
How's the mowing going?
Drop dead, Flanders.
Will never not be funny. Homer just making fun of Ned.
Okay. Oh, this is such a big moment.
Hello. You'll be pleased to know our family is well-read, loves whales, respects the flag, recycles, and only watches public TV.
Public TV.
Lies! All lies! Monsters, I tell you, monsters!
Lisa, please don't let this stranger into your house. She let the stranger into her
Oh,
house.
it's phooey. In my day, we played a game called goose hockey. Everyone rode their favorite goose. Mine was named Petey, which in those days was pronounced Potty.
Okay, that was actually genuinely funny.
That's very good. Oh,
Oh.
they're doing grace.
Buddha, Jesus too, who loves you, baby. Time to chew.
That, of course, at the moment was like edgy comedy.
Making a religious joke. Yeah.
Oh,
Marge sitting alone at the kitchen table in the most honest Marge moment I think
honestly,
I've ever
yes,
seen.
this nailing this character. Actually, something about this, the kitchen scene looks really good. Like, I don't know about the animation.
The
in back.
vibrant color. I think they put extra. Oh, Snowball sleeping in the oven. It's terrifying. Something about I think they put extra effort into the Simpsons house because this is like the main place, right?
Yeah.
Report card Bart, English F, D, and C, Math D, F, and F, Science C, D, and A. What the fuck?
Wow.
That can't be right. And then Phys Ed, F, F, and F. I would have thought Phys Ed he'd be okay.
I guess so. So the Cesspool on the Potomac is the episode where that's a Mr. Lisa Goes to Washington very early in the show.
Right.
Where she does the speech about how great America is.
Right. Let's check in the freezer.
Oh, look at all the different types of Duffs.
Oh my God, those look amazing.
Oh my God.
Raspberry Duff. That's ahead of its time.
Yeah, seriously. Now that's like every beer now. Also, remember, he eats the Napoleon ice cream. He only eats the chocolate.
Yes.
So that's what that is.
Yes.
Nice. Good. Coffee just going.
Coffee.
Oh, and then boils through the ground.
You know what's funny is that legitimately made me want to have coffee.
Nice. Because it was very like adults or.
And just coffee.
Oh,
no, I
no.
mean right now. I could go for one.
I could actually go for a coffee too. Oh no, that mouse. Oh, God
Mouse
damn
went
it.
into the microwave and is dead now. Hope no,
he's
it
a
is,
big mouse.
It is a beast.
He's a monstrous mouse now.
I feel like this show is where all of the or this game is where all of the
Yes,
he
laser eyes.
it gives himself a bigger hole to go into. This game is where all the jokes that didn't make the TV show
Yeah.
came.
I 100%. Oh, so
Famous Jewish clowns, a pictorial. Oh my God, what the fuck?
well, Krusty.
Oh, an edgy
Herschel
young comic,
Kristofsky.
Herschel Kristofsky.
There you go.
Shofar, so good. Oh my God. That's it's a book. This is a book about famous Jewish clowns. The Fighting Schmegmans,
Fighting Schmegmans.
the Kosher Brothers.
Yeah, that's like the Marx Brothers. Yeah.
By the way, I watched an episode of The Simpsons recently, the one that's based on Citizen Kane. Canon that George Burns is Montgomery Burns' brother.
George Burns is?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, because he gets taken away. Mr. Burns gets taken away, and his parents are like, "Well, at least we've got George over there." And then it's like him with like the big mustache and the cigar. He's like, "It'll be funnier when I'm older." The amazing 3-ring circumcision. Oh my God, that's a joke right up my alley. Herschel hits the big time.
There you go. That's
cool.
good. I'm glad you clicked on that book.
Hey, man.
Oh, Bart acknowledges you. He says, "Hey, man."
I
He
like
says, he's just sitting there reading a comic, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, my
Oh, and Itchy and
God.
Scratchy, little plush falls over and then a little needle falls in his head. That's cool.
Oh, plane takes off.
Oh, the dino sponges. I remember those.
Man, that like nuclear mug. That's great. I
Ooh.
would totally do that.
Look. Oh, okay. So now we're in a little mini game. I like the addition of these little mini games.
Yeah.
I think they're important. So we found a slingshot
Oh, yes.
in Bart's drawer. And now there's a poster of Sideshow Bob, and we get to shoot a slingshot at it. In an incredibly easy way. Holy shit. 23 shots remaining?
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing all that.
It actually takes so long, too, that
Oh,
it's like
man.
so slow. All right, so let's get out of here.
Hey, man.
Hey, man. I do like
Is there anything in
that.
the closet?
Oh.
Oh. Angry Aardvarks.
Angry.
Cop Rock Karaoke Kid. Holy shit, that's such a small joke. Cop Rock was a show they actually tried to do. It was a musical about police officers.
No way, really?
In like the 80s. And that is amazing that they thought, well, 1997, that was probably not that crazy of a joke. Bill Gates' World Monopoly.
I'll never leave
Not a guarantee.
I'll never leave you, not a guarantee. So you got Krusty's little pull toy there.
Some fireworks.
Some fireworks, Virtual Springfield, the board game, Teamsters and Scabs.
Teamsters and Scabs. Good.
Whoa.
Oh, geez, what do you
Bart
want?
right in our face. Okay, well,
All right.
anywhere else to explore?
No, I think we saw
got
Springfield,
a good
right?
sense of Springfield and a good sense of the game.
Desk there, closet over there.
Well, even Bart's aware that this
He's
is...
aware that there's not much more to do here. Okay, well, it was fun. Or was it?
Bye,
Only way to find
everybody.
Bye, Dr. Andrew.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I went to medical school for that. And welcome back to the Retrograde.
Hey, man.
Is that Bart?
I don't know. You tell me. Is it good enough to be Bart?
Who's the hell is Bart? My son is also named Bart. That's a joke from the
Simpsons
Itchy and
reference.
Scratchy land.
Okay.
No, I wasn't talking to you. My son is also named Bart. Yeah. We are out of Bort license plates. So we just stepped into Springfield.
Yes.
Virtually.
Virtually.
Virtually, we were there.
Listen.
We were virtually there.
Virtually, we collected cards and went into Moe's Tavern.
Went to Moe's Tavern, went to the Noiseland Arcades,
Yep.
went to the Simpsons household. We went to somewhere else, Quickie Mart.
You know what I'll say? All in all, I'm glad this game got a good retro score.
Why is that?
Because I can't imagine it getting the same nowadays.
From you.
I'm curious, though, you as like the Simpsons purist, as
Thank
like
you.
the bigger Simpsons fan.
Thank you.
Did this feel
Knowledge, greatness. It's important.
I would call it obsession. Not
Oh,
greatness.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Are you a bigger Overwatch fan than I am Simpsons fan? Are you a bigger Batman fan?
I don't know if I am a bigger Batman fan than you, Simpsons fan. I think honestly, in terms of hours, you probably spend more times watching The Simpsons than I spend watching Batman.
In my life, yes.
Even if we take the last 6 months into account.
No, probably not.
No way.
No, probably not. You know, I just you played a Batman video game.
Yeah,
You're like
yeah,
that. I bet you know, just because like at this point it's almost so repetitive. Like
That's
I can
fair.
watch every episode. But if you had said over the course of our life,
Yes.
oh, yeah,
Honestly,
absolutely.
over the course of my life, I've watched more Simpsons than Batman. Probably.
Yeah.
So like that's
There
not
you
saying
go.
much. But no, I even the obsession thing. In terms if we're using
Like Calvin
obsession as as a negative,
Yes.
then yes, I am more obsessed with Overwatch than you are with The Simpsons.
I can quit The Simpsons anytime I want. I don't have to have no Simptember or something like that.
No, it's September. We're putting a freeze on Overwatch.
Oh yes, and how's that going?
Yeah, I haven't played it yet.
You haven't played it in September at all.
In September at all.
Wow, good
Yeah.
for you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you very much.
We will be checking in every week.
I know, and I am anxious about it because one day it's going to be like this is. I watched the show Intervention with a new outlook now.
Yeah.
Where I get it. I get
Yeah.
the anxiety.
Yeah.
I get the shame. I get the embarrassment.
How about My Weird Obsessions? Isn't that another show like that where it's like, I love dill pickles or something like that? Like I have to be
is that
rough.
the weirdest obsession you could think of there?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking something like, I need cotton balls in my mouth.
Oh, spoken like someone who's never tried it. If that's what you're making fun of.
Oh, that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Like,
it
I
really
wouldn't
does.
like that.
Didn't what's his name in The Godfather?
Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando. Didn't
Yes.
he put cotton balls in there?
Supposedly, yes.
I make an offer you can't refuse.
Man, your impressions are on just perfect. Hey, Bart Simpson, Marlon Brando.
That one was Bart Simpson.
That was Bart Simpson? Whoa, okay, we need to talk about your impressions.
Okay, so as the Simpsons obsessed maniac that you are, which was just established as canon on the Retrograde.
This is getting extreme.
As the guy who loves the Simpsons so much, he has permanently carved the Simpsons onto his skin.
That's true.
Tell me I'm lying.
Nope. I just said that's true before you said, tell me I'm lying.
What did you feel? Did this feel like the virtual Springfield you remembered? And if not, was there still much redeeming about just walking around the streets of The Simpsons?
I feel like you're setting me up there, but
I'm giving you plenty of opportunities.
You said the
to
word
like or
redeeming
dislike.
already.
I said, or if it's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if it was, is there a follow-up question too, or are you just expecting me to be negative in the first place?
I feel like in either case, you'll be able to take it and talk about it.
Well, and Mikey, I will.
Okay.
And Mikey, I will. The game was not identically like I thought it was. And actually, in a lot of ways, I actually thought it looked better than in my head.
I agree with you.
I was like, whoa, okay, cool. Like, even there was little moments where, like, we're in the Simpsons house. I'm like, this actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Where I expect for something from 1997 to just be dog shit.
Yes. Just dog shit.
See, that's what I'm saying. But there was a limited amount of options. And I can imagine, like you were saying, when we were still full of imagination, hope, and optimism, that, before it had been
You're talking about
beaten out of us.
You're talking about 2014?
Yeah, 2014.
Yeah,
something
around
like that.
then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
around
yeah.
then.
Because Missy Elliott's Super Bowl performance was soon after that, and my theory is that that was God's last gift to us before he continued to spiral the world into darkness and shit and shame.
I actually think that's true. Wasn't Coldplay the next year? So I think that might be true.
In one year, we got Missy Elliott and Left Shark, and then the following year, we got Trump, and then not too long after, we got COVID.
There might be something to this, actually. When you brought in Left Shark, I'm like, whoa, Left Shark, you're right.
Yeah.
Remember how much everyone loved Left Shark?
Everyone loved Left Shark.
Oh, it was
The last time the internet came together and
brought us
agreed
all
on
together.
one thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we all just loved just roasting Left Shark. God, that was fun. Wonder what Left Shark's up to now.
Died of COVID.
No.
Yeah. Had COVID and then took hydroxychloroquine and got killed.
But the options were limited inside of it. And so while I can imagine as kids, we loved it because it was just, our imagination was just booming and,
Yes.
whatever. It was incredible. I can imagine now it's like, well, what is it actually doing?
Right.
Oh, okay, cool. There were jokes in there. We did laugh a bunch.
Yeah.
Like there are these moments like, Grandpa Simpson coming out and telling us all about, goose hockey and like little things about like some of the stuff. Like I found the Doom interpretation of Doom actually really interesting, even though it wasn't
video game thing
fun to play.
Yeah.
It's still like, whoa, they actually went for
in
it.
In case it didn't make it into the gameplay section, it's basically you're in the Quickie Mart and you almost take control of a poo as the bullies of Springfield are coming towards you, and you disembowel them with a mop.
Unbelievable. Apoom, actually, it was called.
Apoom, yeah.
Yeah, so like Doom. So there's like moments like that where you're like, wow, some clear like thought has, like creativity has gone into this game.
Right.
And then there's other parts where you're like, okay, it's still just very petite as an experience.
Petite and disjointed. I think, at a time, 1997, a lot of the issues could have been forgiven.
Yeah, because there was no Left Shark.
Because there was no Left Shark.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well before Left Shark. There were sharks.
Right. Only
They were invented in 96, I think.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah.
Deep Blue Sea?
Deep Blue Sea. Yeah. They're swimming backwards. And then it turns out they can do that.
Yeah. LL Cool J had a parrot. Everything was good in life.
LL Cool J got his dick bit off in that movie, and we don't talk about it enough.
I'm sorry, he did?
He did.
I don't remember that.
He did.
Wasn't he the cook?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like where you're like, of course it's the position that wouldn't save the lives of everyone on board, but he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a great movie.
Ladies love Cool J, man.
Ladies love Cool J, and he's made it his name, so it's true.
Yeah, because anybody that gives themselves the nickname and won't shut up about it has to be 100% honest about it.
Mikey has a lot of friends, and his family loves him a lot, and his co-host really actually does respect him, Aaron Worth.
That's your nickname?
I mean, I gave it to myself.
You give yourself a nickname every episode now that I think about it. Obviously, Mikey Aaron Wiggum, is today's. So
what I was saying though is that I think it was right now the difference between good, solid, smooth gameplay and the disjointed mess that we got in Virtual Springfield is much more stark, because back in the day, if you're playing it, I was also playing games like Myst. Point and click adventures were a lot more common. So those moments where you're moving from one set piece to another,
right?
Whereas right now that kind of feels like, you take a break while everything loads. In this, it felt like you're moving from one place to another, but you're also seeing some of Springfield, and someone might interact with you. So as a kid, just
seeing,
visually
like he's giving a big, like,
big
vista
wavy,
of like, seeing.
Yeah. Back in the day, it felt like that was an improvement to the formula.
Right.
Now it just feels like, oh my God, I'd rather just watch an episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point, because this would have been such a nice like vacation from watching The Simpsons. You're in The Simpsons.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God. That's it. And now you're like, well, is this providing me more than me sitting back and letting them come at me?
Yeah, I think as someone who's seen pandering...
Like attackers. I don't know why I said it like that.
Come at me, bro.
Come at me.
As someone who's seen like, the pandery element of something you like in a certain form of medium, getting another release in another form that's basically there as a diluted version of it to make you, relive some of the inside jokes or something along those lines. Back in the day, I couldn't get enough Simpsons, and that worked on me because I wasn't as jaded by how many other properties had done that. Now I'm watching this like every time there was a joke, you and I would look at each other like, oh, that was actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
But it was never as funny as a joke in The Simpsons.
Well, no.
So it all kind of felt like a diluted version of what I would get out of The Simpsons, because the novelty of going in working around in a virtual environment at my own pace is not enough to make up for the lack of quality in the content, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, I didn't notice that, but now I am.
But it's tough because you're comparing it to the Simpsons television show, which is, going to be like, I don't know, a top 10 TV show of all time or something like that. For
sure.
It's a tough bar to me where you're like, it's not as funny as the TV show. And it's like, well okay.
But my point is that if it isn't as funny as the TV show, then what is the redeeming quality? Because moving around in this space with what feels like desolate, barren landscape at sometimes doesn't feel like enough to hold my interest now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did you can you talk a little bit about what you thought about it in terms of like your enjoyment? Did you enjoy it? Were you...
Well, for sure. It provides you a unique experience that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I think that has got to be the thing it's going to stand on, if it has anything to stand on.
Right.
Is going to be like, well, you're in Springfield. You're like, great. You could go wherever you want. Wink, wink, wink.
Right.
Because you can't actually. There's only like 10 places you can go.
Right.
So to me, it's like you still get to relive that experience, and it is unique. It's been 24 years since that game came out, and nothing like it exists, and nothing like existed previously. So for that reason, it's unique in its own. Is it fleshed out like it could be if it came out in 2021? No. So
this is where I'm having issues saying many positive things about it.
Really?
Because I get that it is a unique experience to be able to be dropped into Springfield and see it virtually and move around in that space. But the ways in which you can move are so limited. And the interactions you have in the environment are also very limited.
Yeah.
If what you want to do is move around the space of Springfield, go play Hit and Run. Like Hit and Run does that in full 3D. The novelty of this is completely outdated and has been surpassed.
Okay.
So if all it's bringing to the table is the ability to go to Springfield, that's also there somewhere else, and probably in a way that's easier to access than this one, and a lot more fun, I think. I was very disappointed with how quickly I got bored with it.
Okay.
Right when we got in, we were talking about like, hey, the graphics are great.
Yeah.
This looks awesome. Troy McClure's there.
Yeah.
Principal Skinner's just coming by and talking about how he's late to go see his mom. That's fun. But I don't think I had the patience for many more of those set pieces, just aimlessly clicking around to see if things will pop up. I just kind of lost interest.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your score? Is that what you're doing?
Do you?
Well, I'm just saying. It sounds like that's what you're doing.
I think we should get into it.
We should get into it?
Get into it. Sad Styles Productions. I'm ready to do my review.
Let's do it then.
Why don't you start us off, because you usually do.
Yeah, absolutely. In our retro scores, it was nice and easy to remember this one. We both give it 4s. And obviously, that's exactly what we're going to give it again in our current scores.
I'm honestly, I've never been more curious to see because you've been very guarded in talking about this. I don't really know how you feel about it. I'm excited to see.
I think I've been nothing but honest, transparent and honest. It's okay. So this is going to get the Andrew stamp of tough approval, because it is tough to do this. It is both enjoyable for me to be in this world, yet existing inside of it for any length of time would be tough because it's just not going to give you, it's just not going to be rewarding. Yes, collecting cards just for obsessives. Yeah, sure, you can do that.
Yeah.
But it's not fun.
Yeah.
You know, I thought parts of it were funny. I think all the little things of like holding up magazines is funny. The board games are funny. But like at the end of the day, those become Easter eggs or like kind of just quick things that you can laugh at. And yet I like being in Springfield. So I can't give it a good score by any means because it's not a good game because it's barely a video game.
Right.
But then again, like, honestly, when I break down, like I was thinking like, you just click to move. And then you click stuff on screens, and I'm like, I just described Myst.
No, for sure.
So like, it's not the actual controls and animations inside of the game. It's not like Myst is a big puzzle. So you feel like something like, oh, I clicked something. Oh shit, I heard something move. Then you have to go like all the way across the map and check something out. This is not giving you that sensation of reward, but yet the reward is existing in a world that you might be able to only do like this.
Right.
So I'm going to give it a low score. It kills me to say this, but higher than probably Mikey. I'm going to give it a 1.5.
1.5. I think that's totally fair, especially as someone who loves The Simpsons. Like, I agree with you. The game itself is, if you describe it in a molecular level, it's Myst. It is. I mean, you are moving around in a space. Yes. You have these set pieces. But the feeling you have around it, in Myst, you feel like you're working, like you're logically working through something, sometimes less logically than others because the puzzles are fucked up in that game sometimes.
Yes.
But in this, and this isn't necessarily a detriment, if the content that you're presented with is good enough. But in this game, you don't have that sense of urgency. You don't have that sense of puzzle. It is just like playing. It's like having an action figure. What is the goal of having an action figure? That's up to you. You do whatever you want with it.
True.
You live in this world and you explore it.
Yeah.
The puzzle is replaced with the ability to read a bunch of board game names and magazine names, and there can be some fun to that. But as soon as that starts to feel tedious, there's nothing for you in this game. And there was very little for me in this game after that point. In spite of that, I could have spent more time in it. I did have a couple laughs. It's not the worst game I've ever played. I'm heartbroken that it isn't as fun as I remember it, but I kind of knew that was going to be it. This one it's a 1 out of 4. And I did honestly consider going 1.5. I did.
Oh, I thought you were going to go 0.5.
No. I mean, at that point, I think that the games that it's going to be present with in that level
compared to,
are just nowhere. Like, there's no creativity. Like, a 0.5 is like, you didn't try, you didn't this. Even I think a 1 is low. I think 1 is almost too low for this. But look, I gave the original score a 4. So,
I know, right?
Part of that is my own disappointment right now.
See, like, the thing is, so that together is a 10.5, 16. And if you just showed me a 10.5, 16 before we got here, I'd be like, that's great. And it's like, oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is, like, usually when scores are low like that, I'm like, man, they fucked up.
Yes.
Like, something where whereas the worst part is you can tell there's huge elements of like actual work that's been put into this. The amount of actual lines that they had to write and little like side jokes and written jokes. There's a lot of work in this game.
Yeah.
It just ultimately doesn't turn out into something that's super engaging.
Yeah, I agree. I felt like I remembered there being more little story threads to pull on being in here. Like, I remember the whole thing about the stone cutters and needing to find a ring and searching Grandpa's drawer, and there was like a little compartment there, and going from one area of the map to the other to get clues to finish a quest, essentially. And those obviously exist in the game, but they're so much less present than I remember them, and less often occurring than I remember them.
I'm going to give away a free idea here, okay? It's the $1 billion idea. Okay. Now we need to change it from $1 million idea.
Going back to Dragon's Den here.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Are you a dragon?
Get on my boat. I'm about to ride through your life.
What is going on? You're a dragon, so you're going to get on a boat and ride through
Kevin
your life?
O'Leary.
Oh.
Famous boat driver.
Famous boat passenger.
Oh, quote-unquote passenger.
Okay. Yeah, look it up.
Look up Kevin O'Leary boat. I'm not going to get into it.
So allegedly, whatever. Here's an idea for a Simpsons game, just like Virtual Springfield, that would have made you money, okay?
Right.
The Sims Springfield, where you get to create your own Springfieldian, and you live in this world. And
Andrew, what's it called?
Oh, man. Simsfield?
Simpsons.
Simpsons. It is. That's exactly what it's called. Sim.
Continue.
Sims.
Yeah.
Where you create your own, like, you know how like everyone's like Sim-sizing yourself or whatever it is,
Yeah.
like online, and you can kind of do that. You just create your own thing.
I love it.
You live in
I
Springfield,
love it.
and you get to travel around to Springfield. You have a job. You get to work in the nuclear power plant or Moe's or something like that. And it's the same thing with the Sims, where you got to like keep healthy and wash and stuff like that. But you can interact with the other characters.
You know what that's actually very similar to? You ever play Simpsons Tapped Out?
Yeah.
The mobile game?
Yes.
Similar to that, where you are kind of building your house and you have Springfield to kind of tool around, but that's much more of a mobile. Like the purpose of that game is to spend time in it so
Make
that they
money.
make money. Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
I was just thinking like there's a version of this that can be brought to 2021 that would make sense.
Yeah, I'm thinking like Animal Crossing-ish, but for the Simpsons,
that's a good
something
idea,
along those
too.
lines. You
Yeah.
know, like giving me the ability, not point and click. Let me run around, but like just live in Springfield.
Light controls. I still don't need to do a ton.
Yeah.
I just got to be able to be a little bit more interactive with the environment around me.
I love that idea, and I can't wait to play the game after you produce it, Andrew.
Yes.
But before you produce it, we have to get to our awards ceremony because I hear the oboes warming us up. Take us away.
You've been waiting for it all year. The most glamorous award ceremony of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, the Grady's.
Oh my
wow.
God. Incredible.
Incredible. Sorry.
I
came
just
right out of that.
I got startled.
You dozed off. The oboe just
I did.
became
Well,
really
it's very comforting. It's very relaxing.
I'm really desperately trying not to draw attention to Elliot right now, who has come off screen because I don't know if this is a something you're not supposed to do right now. But he's in yellow face. And I don't know.
like it.
I don't love
Don't
it.
like it.
I don't love
like it.
It feels like it's inappropriate, and I know he's trying to do a Simpsons reference, but it's cute. It is cute because he's got Marge's hair.
Yeah, that's great.
That's
keep that.
great.
Keep that.
Keep that.
Otherwise, just
Oh, wait, actually, Elliot, are you planning on running for office anytime soon? No?
No.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
You're probably good. You're
fine.
just an asshole.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. So,
okay.
Elliot, why don't you reach into Marge's giant stack of hair, grab that envelope, and let us know what what awards this game's won.
The Field of Childhood Dreams.
If you play it, they will review it fondly.
And
Jack, I want you to draw me like one of your
Video games.
The rose-colored Hall of Play.
My head is one big pile of shit.
Yes, I compare you to a kiss from a rose-colored flame.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
Oh, okay.
No, you pointed 3 because here, little thing for the listener now.
Yeah.
Originally, remember, because we changed the parameters of the worst by Hall of Fame.
Right.
Now it has to be a 2 or lower.
Yeah.
This could have the current score, the worst by Hall of Fame being where the current score is below a certain point.
Right.
It used to be 3 and below. We've changed that to be more in tune with the higher end scores.
Yes.
So you have to be a 2 or lower now. So this actually doesn't get the worst by Hall of Fame. Field of Childhood Dreams, where the retro score is a 7 or higher.
Right.
Phenomenal. You're in great keeping with that. You've got Contra 3 is on that list. LA Noire is on that list. Pokemon Snap is on that list. SimCity's on that list.
Incredible. What a list.
What a fantastic list. And this is another interesting one, which we haven't had in a long time. The Rose-Colored Hall of Plane.
Oh.
A tough one to get.
Yeah.
Where the current score is significantly lower than the retro score. And we're talking by a factor of 4.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if by a factor of applies here, but
It sounded good.
it sounded
Sounded
pretty
smart.
good.
I like it.
By a factor of 4.
Whoa. Powerful.
Rose, we haven't had this one in a long, long time. Not
No.
since we've actually started to do our other drops. Midnight Rescue is on that list. Wow. Oh, here's one that people aren't going to like. Final Fight is on that list. And one more, Space Station Silicon Valley is on that list as well. That was a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. But you know what? I'm glad that we started Simptember like this.
Yes.
I think there was highs, there was lows.
Yes.
But I think, you know, one of the best parts about the Simpsons video games is that they are always in different styles, genres, things like that. There's no other game like Virtual Springfield.
Yes.
You know, to be honest, like a lot of games, there's just no other games like Virtual Springfield.
True.
And so there's different types of games, and I'm so excited to see what The Simpsons is going to bring us next time.
Yeah, I can't wait. And remember, hit us up on all of our social medias. We've got @Retrograde Pod. We've got @Retrograde Mikey, @Retrograde Andy.
Yes.
We want to hear your recommendations for games that you want us to do on Simptember. Simptember, sorry.
Yeah.
How could I forget?
How could you forget?
And again, give us a little bit of a blurb about why you're suggesting that game. We're going to read some of those out live on air.
Whoa.
But not actually live.
Yeah, but it's not live.
Yeah,
but live to tape.
We're going to pre-record it, and we're going to, because in between cuts, we're going to be laughing at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we laugh at you a lot.
A lot.
You.
We do that a lot. You, Brian.
Wow.
Oh, actually, so here's a good one.
Okay.
Is recently, because we put this out already, someone suggested The Simpsons Wrestling, which is one of the most notoriously bad games. And I think it was Warren John Hughes who recommended it. And my only thinking is that this person is trying to get the reins of the worst wrestling game that we've done on this, because Brian Bland's recommendation, obviously Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yeah, it's a long mocked game in this podcast. I think the worst game we've ever put forward.
Yes, absolutely.
So, maybe that's a good way to finish. I don't know. We'll see. Depends on your votes. Depends on your suggestions. So let us know, okay? Thank you so much for listening to the Retrograde Podcast. We love every single one of you, and we can't wait to talk to you soon. My name's Andrew Bascom, and with me, as always, is the bad boy of podcasting, Mr. Bebop himself,
Mikey Aaronworth.
This is the Retrograde Podcast.
Game over. Ding, 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 ding. Shh.
Thank you so much for listening to the Retrograde Podcast.
We look forward to recording this podcast all week long, and we hope you guys look forward to listening to it.
You know how we got into retro video game podcasting for the money and the babes? We're really in it for the ratings and reviews.
Money is ratings. Reviews are babes.
Please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you enjoy podcasts.
For any business inquiries, you can always email the retrogradepodcast@gmail.com.
You can find us on Twitter @RetrogradePod.
And you can find Andrew on Twitter @RetrogradeAndy.
And then Mikey @RetrogradeMikey.
Instagram @The Retrograde Podcast. And remember, find us on Patreon, patreon.com/The Retrograde Podcast for all of your non-essential but very much enjoyable content. We don't ask that you give us much, apart from joining our Patreon. But what we do ask is that you join this community that we've grown. Also, give us some of your blood.
Yeah. I want some of your hair in a bag. Thanks for listening from your two dads.
Furnished by Sad Styles Productions.
What was that?
I think I'm dying.